we go. Rochelt. Rochelt is a distillery in Tyrol in western Austria, and they make schnapps. Not the minty schnapps that you got in trouble with in college. This is proper schnapps. This is proper fruit eau de vie, and they go hard with this stuff. We are talking like absurd amounts of fruit going into each batch, each bottle. We are talking natural fermentation, no pitched yeast. We are talking double distillation. We are talking, they age this stuff. Not in oak, they age it in, they're not even demijohns. They're these kind of glass jugs with linen on top. So they want air exchange. And which I approve of because linen is it's just the best fabric. Now all of this insanity does come at a cost, and the cost is the cost. A prefix example of insane fruit eau de vie that I tried was the Cyril Zangs, the 00, which cost about $80 for a bottle. So, you know, what do you think this stuff costs? Maybe a little bit more? $100? These things, I've never seen a bottle of Rochelt go for under $200, and those are for half bottles. Let that sink in for a minute. They're beautiful bottles. They're these kind of green decantery things, but they are, the price is up there. Is that money, is it worth the money? No, of course. That's a silly amount of money for any kind of spirit. Is it money better spent elsewhere? Yeah, probably. But who else on the YouTubes is going to review this stuff? So you think the Whiskey Try people are going to review Rochelt? No. So I got in on a bottle split. I basically got what the splitter wanted to do. I got a little bit of a discount, but even so, like, these are ounce bottles, so 5 ounces here. You're still talking the better part of like $100 just for this. So yeah, I'm gonna try real hard not to knock any of these over. All right, what do we got here? We got a bunch of plums, plum variations. We have some black currant, and we have some Rowanberry. So let us get started. I'm very excited to try these. It's the end of the year. We're gonna do this right. All right, this is the Rochelt Mirabelle 2009. It's lot 47, bottled at 50%. All these are bottled at 50% or so. Now, I put this first because Mirabelle is one of the fruit eau de vies I've had the most trouble kind of gelling with. So I wanted to, I want to finish strong. So we're gonna start with what my guess is might be the weak elements. Let's see what we got. Oh, it's very clean. So, yeah, okay, obviously you're getting Mirabelle Plum, blood orange. So with natural fermentation, I was expecting a lot of floral character on this, or on these in general, and so far I'm not getting it. There's just a little hint of like a couple of daisies thrown in there, but it's very just pure laser-like. It is on Mirabelle, blood orange. What is that? A little bit of fig in there as well. White pepper, that little hint of kind of floral character of the wildflowers. Oh no, there's a little bit of like almost something earthy, like a little bit of fresh, potting soil in there as well. Overall, though, it's just very, very, very clean. It smells delicious. Let's give it a try on the palate. You would expect these to be excellent, and this is excellent. Very, very peppery. Um, it's yeah, okay, definitely some black pepper in there, but also some like a little bit of Sichuan, numbing spice as well. Like a little bit like I've been eating some Dan Dan noodles or something, and I can't feel my tongue anymore. But nice. Yeah, the pepperiness is really is really fun. Okay, more floral on the palate this time. So those daisies have found a bunch of their friends, like a lot of their friends, and they've brought them in. Along with that, Mirabelle, of course, uh, bergamot, but it's almost more like the pulp, the fruit of the bergamot. More so, usually I get the skins on spirits. This time it's the fruit. Um, very grippy. Has a little bit of that potting soil thing going on. Good mouthfeel, very minerally, um, and floral and spicy. Good mouth length, good long finish. Yeah, I got no complaints about this. It's very, very, very good. Write a preliminary score on here. We'll come back to that. Well, first let me add some water. Let's say 2 squirts. I've never dealt with a schnapps at this level, so I don't really know how it's going to take water. Let's see. I'm not sure, but I'm going to stop after 2 squirts. I don't. It doesn't feel like it needs more, and I don't want to risk drowning this. Let's move on. This second glass is the Schlehe, which is Sloe Plum, which is also known as Blackthorn. So very popular in the UK. This is the 2010 batch, lot 129, also bottled at 50%. Sloe Plum, very popular in a particular kind of gin. Again, it's a UK thing. Ooh, okay. That is a very different nose from the previous glass, which I appreciate. Okay, now it's getting like floral and crazy. Okay, flowers, but it's not wildflowers this time. It's like a huge bunch of like mixed roses. Throw some like violets in there as well, just a few, and then like sour candy, some Sour Patch, some Smarties in there. I mean, Sloe Plum, sure, why not? Really just intense, and a fair bit of minerality on this. There's some like some soapstone going on. No, that's getting too specific. It just smells um, like seaside gravel or something. Yeah, I am much preferring this nose to the poor Mirabelle. Um, nice, dense, deep nose. Let's see what happens on the palate. Very floral, bordering on soapy. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say this is soapy, but I'm still enjoying it. One more time. really intense. Just like you got yourself you went to your like local Middle Eastern grocery store. You got yourself a bottle of rose water and you just started chugging it. That's kind of the impression I'm getting. A little bit of like boutique hand soap in there. A couple of just like straight up flowers, roses, violets. I don't nice flowers. I'm not. I should really take my time to learn flowers. I just haven't yet. I'm sorry. And behind that, much less spicy on the palate than the Mirabelle was. There's a little bit of white pepper going on, but it's really all about like the flowers and the soap, and it's fun. Sloe gin, of course. Little hint of salted licorice. There's some elements in this that make me think, like, actually of like some high ester rums, like Savannah comes to mind. There's a little hint of the Smarties on the palate there too, which is kind of there in the background. Again, lots of minerality, good mouth length, good mouth feel, good finish. I think this is going to be more divisive than the previous glass, just because for some people this is just going to be too much flowers. It's going to be too much soap. But yeah, I'm into this. Quite good. All right, let's give this a couple squirts. We'll come back to it. So far, both excellent. Would I pay $200 plus for a half bottle of one of them? So far, not. But let's move on. This third glass is the Wildpflaume. I don't know. Sorry, the camera's not doing its job. It's wild plum sourced from the Piedmont. Apparently, this is 2014, 50% alcohol, lot 161-22. Now, so you might say, "Oh, Piedmont. Wait, that's in Italy. What is going on here?" I mean, if you look at a map, like northern Italy and Austria are kind of right there. Like it's a couple of hours truck drive to get from the Piedmont up to Tyrol here. So it's kind of cool that they're sourcing wild plums from Italy. That's great. Oof. On the nose, this one it's almost meaty, but nice. There's a what is that? This is gonna sound a little gross. You know, like liver and onions. Really, just the liver, like grilled, or not, like pan fried liver. That's kind of what I'm getting initially on the nose of this. Throw a couple more like flowers in. We're back to the wildflowers, like the daisies. A couple of stems, like wildflower stems in there too. That's a little green hint. Topsoil, potting soil. Plum, yeah, but it's kind of bringing up the rear. This is much more kind of green and savory than it is like as fruity as I would expect from, say, a Slivovitz or something. There is plum there, but it's kind of hiding. It's kind of playing. It's just playing the changes. It's not soloing, if that makes sense. Certainly some white pepper. That's most of what I'm getting. There's maybe some Maybe some cardamom in there as well. Like, yeah, well, like cardamom pods, something like that. Okay, let's try this on the palate. Once again, very good, very, very well made. Terrific mouth length. This is attacking the back of my throat. Good grip, long finish, great mouthfeel. We're back to the peppery thing, so we've kind of returned to the Mirabelle in terms of spirit a little bit. Black pepper and that kind of Sichuan numbing spice thing. So my beloved Dan Dan noodles. On the palate, the plum is actually more forward than it is on the nose, which is not to say that it's kind of shouting at me. It's not like fruit forward directly. It's much more kind of like the fruit and the spiciness in tandem, but it is more present. The flowers and the flower stems that I was talking about, that's that little green hint. The potting soil thing is there. Old coffee grinds, but nice. Actually, and a little bit of Smarties creeping through on this as well. So yeah, we're sort of we haven't forgotten our slow plum with this one. I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised so far. I was with natural fermentation, wild fermentation, no pitched yeast. I was expecting something that was going to be much more wild and aggressive. And there's so far the only one that's kind of been really out there is the slow plum with that kind of floral character. All these are, but even that, it's pretty darn clean. All these are pretty darn clean. Yeah, very, very good. I don't think it's up there with the slow plum for me, but it's maybe a hair bit better than the Mirabelle. I don't know. We'll see what happens with water. I'll do a second run through. All right, moving on to our first non-plum. This is Schwarze Ribisel, which is black currant, a fruit much beloved by wine people. Here's a free tip. If you were ever in a situation where you have to fake knowing something about wine, you know nothing about wine. If it's white wine, just say there's touches of citrus. If it is a red wine, you can mention black currant. There you go. I try to be useful on this channel. All right, so this is a 2013 L128 or lot 128, bottled at 52%. So we kicked it up by an extra 2% this time. Okay, this is great. We're back in Crazy Town. Oh, what is that? It smells like I feel like I'm smelling like twigs and like fresh leaves. Oh man, that is cool. I'm sorry. I should be filling up the space with talking because it's uncomfortable to have silence in a video. But I'm trying to wrap my head around what this stuff is doing. It really smells like I'm in a forest, right? Well, really like I don't know if imagine like a mixed forest with some standard hardwood trees and then but also some evergreens in there, right? And then like there's an accident or something like chops a bunch of branches off the trees and they fall into the ground You just kind of pick up the branches and the leaves and the needles, and you kind of smell them all together. That's what this smells like. It's also slightly medicinal as well. There's a little bit of like a mouthwash element, but nice. Almost waxy. Yeah, there's a waxy thing. Lime. I gotta say, I was expecting this to smell like a good Cabernet Sauvignon, black currant, and it absolutely doesn't. There's some fruit on this, but it's more citrusy. It's lime, particularly key lime, and then just like the twigs and the green notes. Oh, I'm enjoying this. This is probably on the nose, at least. This is probably my favorite one so far. Throw some white pepper in there, some rocks, some gravel, little touch of sea salt. Basil, even a little menthol. Yeah, I'm excited to try this. Here we go. Yeah. Okay, I was wondering on these first three glasses, when is this stuff gonna like kick into? When is it gonna show me what it's got? When is it gonna go into turn the afterburners on and just go? And this one is going. Let me try this one more time. My first thought is I'm astonished this is coming from fruit. It is very, very just botanical and green. It's fascinating stuff. Hold on. This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted from my, $400 for a bottle fruit schnapps. That same mix of twigs and evergreen needles and leaves, fresh leaves, not dried leaves, and basil and a little rosemary and rocks and key lime and some flowers. Why not? Take some of the rose water I mentioned from the Sloe gin. That's in here too. Yeah, this is great. I gotta be honest, I had my doubts. That I thought these were all gonna be good, but I was wondering, are any of these actually gonna reach greatness? This one's kind of reaching greatness for me. Not a hint of like what I would normally expect from like a dried black currant or something. It's so like green and botanical and vegetal. Lemon peel. A little bit of what is it? Black cherry, actually. There's a little bit of black cherry, but it's way in the back there. You have to go hunting for it. Fennel, sea salt again, white pepper. I feel like if I spent more time with this, I could keep going. But yeah, as of now, yeah, this is terrific. Okay. Let us move on. Well, let us add some water, and we'll come back to this. Yeah. I'm pumped. I'm sorry, I'm pumped. I did not spend my close to $100 for 5 little 1 ounce bottles for nothing. Yeah. All right, moving on. The Rowanberry, Wilde Vogelbeere. I'm sorry, my days of speaking German are long behind me. Has a lot. This has a lot to live up to. 2014, lot 98, also bottled at 52%. Oh man. Okay. So it's not as out there as the Black Currant. Let's start with that. This smells like a dessert. It smells like a cake or something. Imagine, imagine someone making a cake out of like blueberry and blackberry, berries, and that's the icing, and that's kind of the cake, but it still smells sort of like cake. That's kind of what I'm smelling right now. But then you're gonna dump a lot of potting soil, and really just straight up like backyard dirt in there, and some white pepper, and some of that same rose water from before. You're gonna dump all that onto your blueberry blackberry cake. And that's kind of what this smells like. Little hints of salted licorice again. I mean, so I could see some people being scared off by the Black Currant or the Sloe gin. This one is weird and interesting and different, but I could see normal people getting into this, at least on the nose so far. Little bits of like, what's that? Like almost, yeah, chocolate orange. Let's go with that. Chocolate. There's a little chocolate orange on this, but really it's dominated by this sort of berry cake note, which I'm into. All right, let's see what happens on the palate. I'm seeing a pattern here. On the palate, I'm getting much more floral action than I was on the nose. There's a little hint of flowers on the nose. It's way in the back there. On the palate, it's much more forward. I'm chewing on daisies a little bit. It's a little bit softer in the mouth than the others. There's no shortcoming in the finish or anything. And the mouth like is still pretty darn good. It just doesn't have as much sort of immediate impact. It's not, commanding my mouth in quite the same way as some of these others. Let me get some notes on the table. Okay, so yeah, I'm chewing on daisies. What else is going on? Yep. Blueberry, blackberry cake. Lots of black pepper. Some herbs again. Parsley in particular comes to mind. Little hints of rosemary as well. Certainly some minerality happening. I don't know. It's not really gravel. It's more like a soft sand or something. Touches of citrus. What kind of citrus? Like almost a grapefruit elements, but like a softer grapefruit. Which is the softer grapefruit, white or pink? I can never remember. Whichever is the softer grapefruit, that is what this kind of is doing in my mouth. A little Earl Grey, a little bergamot. Yeah, very nice, but I gotta say it's in a hard place after that, after the black currant. Add some water, give this a preliminary score, and then we'll go back through all of these again. I feel like I'm speaking this down. Like it's up there with the wild plum and the slow plum for me. So this is good. This is pretty good. 6, 7. All right. Here we go. Once more. Back to the Mirabelle. No significant development on the nose, really. I mean, it smelled lovely to begin with. It's just, it smells like Mirabelle and blood orange. That's most of what I'm getting, and a couple of flowers. Maybe a hair bit more peppery than it was. But I mean, it was lovely, and it's still lovely. It was kind of going into this second round as my least favorite of this bunch, but you know, that's okay. These are all good. On the palate, I do love that kind of the Sichuan numbing pepper thing going on here. Yeah, actually, it's a little bit the sweetness of the Mirabelle kind of comes through a little bit more, and a little bit more kind of gravelly, a little bit more minerality happening. Other than that, it's not a huge development. What am I gonna score this? Let's try this one more time. It's delicious. It's clean. It just doesn't have the complexity of some of these others. I'm going to give this, I mean, I'll give this a good score, though, still. 86. 86 out of 100 for the Rochelt Mirabelle. Let's move on. The Sloe Plum. This was one of my favorites of this flight. Let's see what happens. Actually, it's the Sloe Plum. It's the fruitiness that kind of takes a step forward. It's still very floral. It's still to the point of being soapy, but yeah, the fruitiness and the perception of sweetness kind of comes forward a little bit on the nose. It's more of a development than the Mirabelle in any case. Okay, on the palate, here we go. Get out of here. Oh, okay. So what water seems to do to this is just make the development a little bit more interesting. What I mean by that is it was all kind of like one block of stuff when I first tried it. Now it arrives with like a plumminess, with fruit, with a lot of fruit. And then as it goes through my mouth, it kind of expands into the floral soapy thing with lots of rocks thrown in there too. Yeah, this is righteous. Again, if you don't like flowers, if you cannot handle like Borderies cognacs because they're just a little bit too floral for you, stay away from this. Forget what number I'm going to put in front of this. Like, stay away. I mean, I know it's expensive, so you'd probably be staying away anyways, but you know what I mean. Yeah, real good. I'm going to give this an 88 plus. 88 plus for the sloe gin. I'm sorry, not sloe plum, not sloe gin. And let's move on. Next up is the wild plum from Piedmont. This was kind of like, I don't know, third or fourth place for me going into this. Yeah, it's I'm still getting that like savory character, like almost like grilled liver thing, but I'm enjoying it. The fruit comes forward a little bit. This again, I'm seeing a pattern here. The fruit comes forward, the perception of sweetness comes forward. But otherwise, there's not a whole lot of change. It's really still dominated by the slight green notes and, yeah, the kind of beef liver thing, which I'm into. On the palate, hold on. And sometimes, like, this is why I add water to things, just to kind of to see what happens when you put this stuff under pressure. So, it's still very, very good, very, very delicious. It still has this like numbing peppercorn thing that I'm really enjoying. But the finish, when I add water, is a little bit clipped. The mouth length kind of reduces a little bit. Now, this is all towards the front of my mouth, nothing really happening past my molars. Whereas before it was like taking up my it was hitting my throat a little bit. I still like it a little bit more than the Mirabelle, but it's nowhere near in the same league as the sloe plum. So I'm going to give this an 87 minus. 87 minus for the wild plum. And let's move on. All right, this was my favorite going into the second round. The Black Currant. And let's see what we got on the nose. It's a nose that will just never get old. Has there been development? No, not really. It still smells like a forest just kind of fell over and now you're smelling it. It's certainly not what I would have expected from a black currant. Eau de vie. It doesn't smell like blackcurrant, but you know what? There are a lot of malts that don't smell like barleys, and we're okay with that, right? Yeah, this is awesome. There's so many little details on this, but that core note is so good. Okay, on the palate, here we go. One more time. phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Um, it's got everything. I mean, it's well. Hold on. Keep in mind my bias as a reviewer. When spirits start throwing me herbs, green touches, flowers, I get excited. Those are things that I like. Um, if you don't like those things, don't get excited about this. But those are things that I like, and this is giving them. It's not only giving me those things; it's giving those things with terrific development, detail, mouthfeel, mouth length, long finish. It is wiping my entire mouth clean and replacing it with itself. This is a very impressive spirit. A hair more fruit forward, a hair more, yeah, like sweet, at least in perception, with water, but didn't need that much improvement to start with, to be honest. Yeah, was good, was great, still is great. I'm going to give this 90 points out of 100 for the Rochelt Black Currant. And let's move on to the Rowanberry. And it still just smells like blueberry birthday cake. And really, actually, you know what? No. Blueberry and mulberry, because I've been, ever since that Kensitu video, I've been obsessed with mulberries. Oh yeah, there's totally some mulberry in this now. Actually, I don't think that was there before, at least not as strongly. So this is like some development. So we have developed from just a blueberry and blackberry cake to those things plus a huge dose of mulberry. And I'm into it. Again, a little bit more fruity, a little bit more sweet on the palate. Very spicy, black pepper, numbing Szechuan peppercorn. Yeah, mostly what it was before. Again, none of these are having huge amounts of development with the addition of water. I think, maybe the wild plum fell back a little bit, but, it happens. This is very good. It's very good indeed. So, like birthday cake made with blueberry and mulberry. Some spiciness, pepper, rocks, a little bit of citrusy elements. Very good. I like this. I like this. I think this has actually improved a little bit since the first time I tried it. Kind of stuck between an 80, like an 87 and an 88. So let's call this an 87 plus. 87 plus for the Rowanberry. And that's it. That's the lineup. So yeah, Mirabelle gets an 86. The Sloe Plum gets an 88 plus. 87 minus for the Wild Plum. Black Currant gets a 90. This is my favorite of the bunch by miles. And 87 plus for the Rowanberry. Having tried these, would I buy a full bottle of any of them? Maybe the Black Currant? I don't think, not for these prices. I don't think I would. That being said, I'm kind of delighted that these exist. Like these, okay, stop thinking about the pricing for a second and think about like the visibility of these things. What you have got here at bottom is some very visible fruit eau de vies, fruit brandies, bottled at around 50% alcohol by volume, bottled at a good strength. And that's kind of where I want the category to be. So if, regardless of the actual value of these things, if they're drawing attention to the category and they're sort of modeling what other folks should be doing, hopefully price accepted, yeah, I'm okay with this. Well done, Rochelt. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for watching, and cheers.